Hello, and welcome to the Magic is in You podcast. This podcast is designed to empower you to tune in, tap in, and turn on the magic that is already within inside of you, for you to own your badassery, step into your greatness, allow yourself to shine your light authentically. This podcast is designed to empower you to intentionally cultivate a life that lights you the fuck up so that you can own your badassery and really create the impact that you desire to see, not just in your life, but in those around you and in the world around you. My name is Kelsey Holmes, and I am a life and mindset coach, multi-passionate entrepreneur. I empower badass women entrepreneurs who are ready to step in and own their magic, to own their badassery that they know is already within inside them, to elevate self-worth, self-trust, and self-confidence, thus growing our self-love so that we can show up powerfully in our businesses and create the impact we desire to see in this world. I'm so excited you're here today for episode number 5. Holy shit, I can't believe this is episode number 5 already. This has been a giant leap out of my comfort zone, into the unknown, into the world of curiosity, possibility, expansion, elevation, and just adventure. And I'm super excited to be here today. Today, we're going to chat a little bit about curiosity and how following our curiosity is a way of tapping into our magic. Tuning into our magic is through following our thread of curiosity. So I want to take it back just a little bit to back when I was just a young little kid and following my curiosity and how it literally led me 20 years ago on the path of personal development and self-growth. So when I was going into high school, I was terrified of heights. And this was a little bit of an issue for me growing up here in Northwest Montana, going on hikes, skiing, just driving some of the roads around here. The heights would wig me the fuck out to the point where I was having, now in hindsight, I understand, but basically really nasty panic attacks. Like in the middle of a hike, in the middle of a ski run, trying to rock climb. Oh my gosh, for the first time at the fair, I got like 7 feet off the ground and just completely broke down. And I couldn't stop holding onto the wall because I was too scared to let go and let the belay line take me. Anyway, so I was terrified of heights as a kid, right? And as I was going into my freshman year of high school, there was a high ropes course at my high school. And this high ropes course was just super rad looking, super intriguing looking. I had a ton of curiosity around this. I saw my sister do it in a program, a summer program that she was able to be a part of. And I was like, I want to do that. So I figured out what class it was that did the high ropes course, because it was only one class at the entire high school that actually utilized this epic high ropes course that we had there. And the class was called Adventures in Personal Development. I had no idea what the class was about aside from the name and the fact that they used the high ropes course. And I wanted to overcome my fear of heights so that I could do all of the fun things that I desired to do here in Northwest Montana. So I really wanted to just jump into this fear, knowing that if I did the scary thing, hopefully it wouldn't be so scary anymore. If I allowed myself to push myself outside my comfort zone, maybe it wouldn't be so scary anymore. And so this is something that intuitively I knew at 14 years old. And I'm kind of impressed with myself just looking back in hindsight, because at the time it wasn't I'm gonna go better myself. It was just hey, this fear is stopping me from doing the things that I really desire in my life. I've got to get over this fear so that I can go rock climbing and skiing and do these things that really interested me. But this fear of heights was holding me back from participating in them. And so the stars aligned for me to get into this class, Adventures in Personal Development. It was one period a day out of the whole entire high school. So, I don't know, a bunch of hundreds of students. It was only 15 or 20 students that got to take this class each semester. And I managed to get in there my freshman year, my first semester of my freshman year. And it was so scary. The height bit, that is, right? Like getting on the ropes course and trying to climb was so terrifying. We were belaying each other in class, like our peers were belaying us. So that's like when one person is harnessed on the ground and they've got like the other end of the rope that you're climbing up, they're the belay team. They're the ones who are going to keep you safe. So if you fall, they catch you, kind of thing, with the ropes. Anyway, that part was terrifying. But the rest of the class, I found so much fun. I really enjoyed the rest of the class. I, as a freshman, was in there with sophomores, juniors, and seniors, so all upperclassmen and a couple other freshmen in there. And I found the class to be really fun. We did personality tests, we did numerology, we did trust falls, we did different group activities, really focused in on cultivating leadership and personal development skills and understanding each other as peers in a group, but also understanding ourselves. And I found the class fascinating. I really enjoyed it. And then the heights, I would just like, every time we'd get on the ropes course, I'd be like bawling my eyes out, shaking like uncontrollably as I was trying to climb up. And as soon as I'd get down, I'd be like, I made it. And each time I climbed, I got a little bit more confident, a little bit less teary, a little bit less shaky, and a lot of it like more confident off the ropes course, because each time I did it, it was like building that confidence and building that trust within myself, to the point where the instructor actually asked me to be a class aide. Now, this was going to be an opportunity for me to every semester for the rest of my high school career be a class aide, like getting just like a partial credit and actually helping teach the class and do like the back end side of the class and a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, so I jumped at the opportunity. I was not, I think I shared this in a previous podcast, but I was not a studious student. I really struggled in reading and writing and had been in like special reading programs from the time I was 6 years old until, I was still in special reading programs at that point. So my whole like school career, essentially, I was in like these special like classes to help me read better because I couldn't read at like the normal level or whatever. So I really did not care for school. It felt like I was othered. It felt like I wasn't good enough. It felt like I wasn't smart enough. And so this opportunity to be a class aide for something that felt fun, something that felt like an adventure, something that felt like I was growing, like I was doing something on purpose, like that I was really like learning skills, and also like getting to climb on the freaking high ropes course at my high school and feel like a badass every time I got down because I knew I was facing my fear, and really like developing that confidence within myself. So I jumped at the opportunity and I got the class aide position, which only a handful of students like in the entire school, like 3 or 4 in the entire school, got to participate in, kind of thing. So super grateful for that. And come the next year, to just like share and showcase a little bit of how I developed through this, I was rigging the ropes course in the morning. I'm getting like a little fluttery. Anyway, I was rigging the ropes course one morning. The year after I had started this aide position, and it was like a dewy, damp morning, and rigging the ropes course meant that we were taking as aides, taking all of the ropes literally that the students would tie into up and free climbing with like a couple of clips that we'd clip into these like staples as we were climbing up. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see all these hand gestures that I'm making here. But we would clip these, what we called lobster claws, that were attached to our harness. It was 2 lanyards that were attached to our harness, and each time we took a step, we were supposed to like clip our lobster claw into the next staple. And these staples started at 10 feet so that we had removable pegs down low so that nobody would climb it in between like classes, right? So nobody could jump the fence and get up top, and liability and all that. Anyway, so long story short, long explanation of how this little thing works short. I was climbing one morning and I had just gotten up to the 10-foot part and I was still climbing. I forgot to clip in. I slipped and I fucking fell on the ropes course, something that I was terrified of. And because of the way I was climbing as an aide, I wasn't actually clipped in at that point yet. I had forgot to clip in that morning, just like one of those things. And so I fell, and one of the removable pegs that we would put on as we started climbing before we were able to clip in actually caught my harness and then dug into my stomach and ripped my stomach open to end up having this like 8-inch long gash, checkmark gash in my stomach. A bunch of stitches, you know, I like took a trip to the ER and the ambulance, like the whole nine. And needless to say, it totally freaked me the fuck out because I was already terrified of heights. I was working really hard to overcome that fear of heights. I'd finally gotten a little too confident, maybe a little too cocky on this, having overcome my fear of heights, and got to the point where I just forgot to clip in. It was that split second. I was reaching down to grab my clip to go clip in, but my foot slipped before I could actually get the lobster claw on the staple. So I just fell. Anyway, needless to say, I didn't climb anymore that fall. It was like October at that point, living in Montana. We were about to have snow. So this was a seasonal thing. The high ropes course was a seasonal thing. And so the next spring, after I had recovered from my fall, for the most part, like I still have like numb areas on my stomach actually because all the nerves were sliced so deep. Anyway, after I had, for the most part, recovered from this pretty traumatic and what felt like gruesome fall, I got the opportunity once again to start over with my fear of heights by rigging the ropes course. And when I tell you I was holding that pole tighter than I've ever held anything in my entire life, I am not exaggerating. I was so scared. I was literally bawling my eyes out almost uncontrollably, like barely like able to see. It took a lot of like breathing each step to be able to see, and I was making sure I was clipping. You're damn sure I was making sure I was clipping in every step I took. And anyway, long story short, I got to the point where I continued to climb, where I continued to learn, where I continued to be smart. From that moment after I had fallen, I continued to go on to spend time in the backcountry of Wyoming and in the backcountry of the Yukon Territory in northern Canada with the National Outdoor Leadership School, and got an associate's degree in outdoor education and leadership, and did a bunch of climbing and all this stuff. And that time, which felt so shitty, so terrifying, so hard when I was 15 years old and had fallen on the ropes course and ripped my stomach open, felt like just so impactful at the time. But also like, I meant like horrifically impactful at the time. But in hindsight, it allowed me to learn lessons that I could have never learned any other way. Those 80 stitches or whatever I got in my stomach, I could have never learned these lessons any other way, like being so aware and so safety aware when I was going out climbing with friends, when I was taking clients out, when I guided ziplining and rock climbing in Alaska. I was so safety conscious when I'm on the ski hill, doing anything in the backcountry at this point, playing outside and just being super aware and super cautious and super safety motivated when I'm doing this kind of work, because I know how fast an accident can happen. But not only that, but it also taught great lessons that I had already learned a number of times because I grew up as a figure skater. And as a figure skater, you fall every fucking practice, like a gazillion times of practice, like hips and knees just black and blue all winter long because I was bruised as shit. But this, as well as skating, taught me that even though you fall, it doesn't mean you quit. Even though it hurts, doesn't mean you can't get better. Even though it felt like horrific and terrifying and super painful at the time, it doesn't mean I can't learn from it. I can't grow from it. I can't continue to get better at it. Just because I fall doesn't mean I don't get back up again. Those life lessons that from so long ago when we were kids, sometimes we forget about them until we take a moment to look back in hindsight with curiosity and check them out again. What can we learn now that we have the awareness that we have now at this, whatever age you are? What can those past life experiences teach you now? And can you pick up times in your life where you followed your curiosity and you allowed yourself to follow your curiosity, and it led to growth, it led to expansion, it led to adventure? Maybe it led to some big fucking falls. Maybe you fell flat on your face, but maybe it led you to different lessons that you couldn't have learned any way other than that. allow yourself to think back to when you did follow your curiosity. Think back to when you did kind of follow that little adventurous spirit within you, within your soul, within your heart that you were so excited about as a kid. Think back to those moments as a kid that felt magical, that felt exciting, that felt expansive, and you wanted to go explore them. Because oftentimes those things that we wanted to do or were curious about when we were kids come back when we're adults, and it brings that magic back into our life. And even if it's not something that you're excited about anymore, even as an adult now, if you're not excited about the thing that you were so curious and so lit up by when you were a kid, but maybe just allow yourself to think curiously like a child, allow yourself to daydream, allow yourself to explore, and allow yourself to kind of peek around with some curiosity. What are you excited and curious about now? How can you take that childlike wonder, that childlike view, or that teenage I'm gonna fucking overcome this, own my badassery kind of energy? How can you take that sense of curiosity into your life now? Where will your curiosity lead you? I have to tell you, a couple years ago, if I were, I suppose 3 years ago, if I were to be told about where I am now on a beautiful, expansive 4.5 acre property with a beautiful, stunning Airbnb / steel artwork and furniture showroom / workshop space, finished, complete, booked out with 15 5-star reviews and 2 camper pads, and doing art shows with epic steel artwork that's inspired by Montana, where I'm helping badass women truly claim and own their authenticity, own their badassery, build the self-trust, follow their curiosity, follow their light, own their magic. I don't even know if I would believe it. I would believe that I followed my curiosity. I would believe that so much could be possible, but how rapidly it's happened by just following the curiosity, following my desire, following my curiosity, and then also being able to freaking work at it, and also being able to get back up every single time I fell. Because I promise in the last few years, and just every time or every year in life, right? There's gonna be falls, there's gonna be failures, there's gonna be shit, fell into the pit again. Now I have to climb back out and start over again. There's gonna be moments like that. But as long as we know that even though we fall, it doesn't mean we can't get back up again, right? Even though we fall, we get to get back up again. Even though we fall, we get to take control of our life again. We get to follow our curiosity again. We get to grow again. We get to follow the adventure again. So part of owning, tuning in, tapping in, and turning on your magic is to truly follow the thread of curiosity. Follow what lights you up. Follow what excites you. And this doesn't mean it has to be an all-in, jump off the cliff kind of thing, but just allow yourself to take a class. Allow yourself to explore some YouTube. Allow yourself to move your body in a new way. Allow yourself to learn something new. Allow yourself to explore yourself in a new way, and see where that leads you. See how that connects you to your magic. See how that connects you to yourself. And as you're building trust within yourself, following your curiosity, following your intuition, following your own adventure, see where it leads you. Because life's too short to not follow that curiosity. Life's too short to not create it intentionally. Life is too short to not be the intentional architect of your own life, where you can own your badassery, own your magic, shine your light, become the lighthouse for those that you want to impact in this world, in this life. If you're okay, Kelsey, this is all great and dandy and fine, but I don't even know where to start by following my curiosity. If you want a little bit of help of directing where you're gonna take this adventure, where you're gonna allow yourself to be led by curiosity, which direction you want to go, if you want help mapping that out to become the intentional architect of your life, designing your life on purpose, with intention, with purpose, with impact, if you want help with that, I'm currently offering single one-on-one calls for just $111 right now through the end of August to celebrate the kickoff of this podcast, The Magic is in You. So if you are interested in learning more, click the link below, and I'm so excited to continue to grow this podcast, to continue to follow my curiosity, and to empower you to follow yours, to create the impact that you desire to see in your life, to own your magic, to own your light, to cultivate your self-confidence, your self-worth, self-trust, and self-love. Because, dear, this life is too short to do anything but. Anyway, in love, light, and so much gratitude, go out there. You are a badass. You are worthy. You are deserving of everything you desire in your life. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Peace.